Hi, my name's Haley, and I'm making a video on my story. My life story, basically. So, the reason to this video is that I was on Tumblr, just tumbling, and I found, this blog, and it's called Bloodstained Razor. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Bloodstained Razors. Sorry. And her story that I read on her blog has inspired me to make a story about my life. Because in her story I can relate. And I feel like people should know my story because not a lot of people have been through what I've been through. So I just think that maybe like 10 minutes of listening to me talk will kind of open your mind a little bit to understand what it's like to be somebody like me, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So here's my story. My story begins at 7. At this point of time, I'm living with my mother, and my mom has always been a single mother. My dad walked out on her when he found out she was pregnant. Of course. So, me and my mother lived in a townhouse, and we had these neighbors. We got along with them for a while. And they had a son. And we're going to call him John, I guess. Because I'm going to be censoring the names because no one really needs to know who they are. And I'd preferably like it that way. So, anyways, in my story, so we have these neighbors, and I would hang out with their son. And I'm 7 years old hanging out with, I'd say he's between the age of 12 and 14. I'm not entirely sure of the age because, well, I was 7 years old, so whatever. Anyways, so me and this John guy would hang out. We'd play, go to the park, play on the slide, on the swings, have fun, right? Well, things changed. And I remember me and him were hanging out, and we were playing a game of some sort. I don't remember what game, but in the middle of it, all I remember is being on the ground. I remember my clothes being pulled off of me. I remember screaming and yelling. I remember my hair being pulled. I remember tasting the blood in my mouth. And at this point, you can pretty much figure out what happened. I was raped. And I understand it's hard to comprehend the fact of a 12, 14-year-old, however old John was, raping a 7-year-old. I understand it's hard to comprehend that, but it did happen. And it was a big part of my life because it's a portion of what's fucked up my life. So, this went on for a while, and my mother started noticing that I'd come home with like blood or missing hair, or I'd be crying, and my mom wouldn't believe anything I'd say because I just say like, oh, I fell off the swings, or I fell off the slide, or I was playing a game and my friend dropped me or something. So pretty much after like my mom never believed me after any lie I even said, because like you don't get that beaten up after falling off a swing or falling off a slide, right? So eventually my mom sits me down, and the day she did this, this is the day I came back from it happening. And basically she made me spill the beans. I told her everything that happened. I told her who it was causing this, and it didn't go very well at all. My mom grabbed me by the arm, opened the door. We walked over next door because they lived right next door to us. We knocked on the door. His parents came to the door, and my mom told them everything that happened, and the first thing they told my mom was that she's a crazy effing bitch. And I remember them saying that. Yeah. We called the cops. There was an investigation that opened. It didn't go through because I'm 7 years old. I can't even comprehend what the hell just happened. I don't even know what sex is. I don't even know what boobs is. Like, I can't comprehend this stuff. I can't go to court and advocate for myself if, I can't even comprehend what just happened. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm 7 years old. So, it didn't go through as my mom wanted it to. So, about a month or so later, the cops come to my house looking for my mom. I answered the door because my mom was in the basement or something, and I remember them asking to speak with my mom. And it's really, I have to dig into my memory to remember this. Okay, so they came to the house, they talked to my mom, and my mom got on the phone and called my aunt and uncle. My aunt and uncle showed up, and they started putting my mom in cuffs. So I'm like, okay. So my mom's taken away in the cop car. I don't see her for a while. I go to my aunt and uncle's house to live there for a month or two, and I find out later that my mom went to jail because she had been accused of holding a knife to John's throat. I'm not entirely sure if this happened because at the time I was only 7 years old. So I can't say whether or not that's accurate or not, but whatever. So after all of that blew over, me and my mom went back to the house, the townhouse, and by the time we were there, they had already moved out, which was good. So about like a couple months later, either 8 or on the verge of turning 8, my mom meets this guy, and we'll call him Bob. So my mom and Bob started getting close, and I encouraged my mom to date him because I have never had a fatherly figure in my life. He ran out on me and my mom when she was pregnant. So first thing that comes to my mind is, oh my god, I want a dad. My mom likes him. As far as I know, I like him. And if we'll be a happy family. That's what I thought would happen. Well, that wasn't the case. 2 months in, we're already moved in. And my mom meets his family, yada yada. Things are good. So, like I said, like 2 months in, 3 months in, he comes home loaded, drunk out of his face, if you don't understand that. Takes his hand on my mom, starts beating her. I start screaming and freaking out. I don't know what's going on. My mom's on the floor, blood on her face, friggin' crying and screaming. He comes over, sees me, grabs my hair, starts beating me up. Happy ending, right? Well, that went on for a year or so. And at this point, I'm 9 years old. And my mom has been diagnosed with Huntington's. And this is a hereditary